I've been trying for 2 days to get the rest of the documents for tomorrow night's meeting uploaded to the, packet, and I still ain't got them all done.
You want to see it? Hour away from you.
I take it back, it's gone,
Oh, wait.
I'm not, and that might be something, that has something to do with it, because I know about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I've been sitting at my desk long.
I wish they did one or the other.
I would say, cause I like this time, I like the extra daylight and all, but I don't like the swapping I'm used to.
I need to do that when you know the yard work.
Longer to get out there.
Y'all ready to roll?
Yep, whenever you are.
There you go. Call to order the monthly beer meeting for the city of Shelbyville. This is the March 12th, 2025 meeting. Yes, Lisa, we'll call.
Chairman Fisher.
Here.
Member Quinn.
Here.
Member Cannon.
Here.
Member LaMattina. Member Turner.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you do have a quorum, 4 members present, 1 absent.
Thank you. First, need an approval of the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any public comments?
Don't have any signed up, no, sir.
Next, approval of the minutes from the regular meeting on February 12th of 25. Do you have a motion?
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Old business, review of the show cause order for bar 69.
Would you like me to take over for that,
Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman? Thank you. Hopefully you have had time to look over the show cause order. I think I mailed it out Sunday.
Yeah.
Very basic. It's a lot of legalese, as you can see, alleging violations of municipal code and tie that into our state law. Your authority as a beer board. I decided after I started drafting and got some in there that I was going to include all 4 incident reports, even though you all actually talked about and voted at the last meeting that April 6th, you didn't find liability. I'm just going to ask that we repeat that at our show cause hearing. Really more for historical purposes than anything. So I included it in there. You will see that I've included the incident reports that the police are required by law to give us of something happened, as well as the actual police report if there was one related to the incident. So all of those are there, kind of set out just briefly what each one of those police reports, what it was reporting, whether one was like, actually, I think one of your incident reports has 2 police reports, 2 officers, they did 2 different things. You've had, I think, disturbing the peace, public intoxication, one was shots fired, so forth. So all of that's in there. What I also added so that it would be in your record, just reminding you what you all will be doing, almost like when you're doing a permit application. You're going to be looking at the record in front of you. Those are all the documents that are properly placed before you at that hearing. So everything that's going to be attached to this show cause order, want to make certain that the individual knows that these things are documents that are going to be discussed and put into the record at your show cause hearing. So I finally, it took us a while, we had to make certain we had a copy of minutes that were signed. So I've got the exhibits ready. They will be attached to the show cause order. We'll need the chairman to sign it. And then Lisa will have to do some copying, getting it ready. That will go to the police department and they'll go serve that, because we obviously have to have a sign back to the police department that they've actually served it. And then we leave an entire copy of the show cause order with the exhibits with the individual. So this is part of a due process, making certain that individual has these records. What I added in and made certain that will be in your record, you will see the applicant's original application for the beer board, the minutes of the meeting of that beer board where it was approved. You will also have the minutes. I didn't add all the documentation. I added the minutes from October and November 2022. That is when you had a show cause order already on this establishment with this person, this beer permit. That will then establish in the record exactly what this beer board, what action you took at that time. Making that clear that that's a part of your record. So just want to explain what all those were, why they're in there. Because that means those records, and what will happen, Lisa will make certain, copy of the signed show cause order with all those exhibits, that will be in your packet next month. Be in the record. It's all there. And you will be able to reference that. The individual will have had received a copy. You can go back and look at those. You obviously also, if you were a member of the board and participated in the 2022 show cause, you also have your memory that you could question the individual about or bring to the table as something that you recollect about why that was done. And I think when we were talking about this last month, one of the things that someone brought up is, I know in the past we've had that person in front of us and we've talked about the measures they were taking for the safety in the parking lot. That's reflected in one of those minutes. So that's another reason why I made certain that those are part of your record. Okay.
Perfect.
Do y'all have any questions for me?
I'm glad you had the other part in there also. That way we got full documentation of everything that's happened there.
Yeah.
And that way we can always go back to that later if something else happens.
Well, I think you need to establish again, this,
It's not-
part of it is this is a second show cause order. And the minutes, I didn't add, there's a lot of documentation that you can say that we have of record on file about that show cause order. I didn't think it was necessary to bring it all in because we are not re-adjudicating that issue. We're not re-adjudicating that. Sorry to use a lawyer term. We're not rehearing that. You just need to know it happened and what was your vote because of that. And there was information during the course of those hearings that is captured in the minutes that may be relevant to what you're considering next month. So that's why that's in there. Another reason. So really all you do tonight, I mean, just say, yes, we approve, and Brett can sign it, and we can get on our way. Okay? But don't hesitate if you have questions, even before next month. And I do have sort of a outline of how we go through show cause orders, and I'll make certain that you all have that in advance of your meeting next week. No, excuse me, next month, in April. How we establish what we're doing and set the ground rules on that. Okay?
Any questions right now? Good. We need to make a motion.
If they would, just a motion to approve and let. Sorry.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, next, new business, consideration of an application to sell beer on premises by Brandy Blanco Gonzalez at Flamingo Fiesta, 405 North Thompson Street, Shelbyville, Tennessee, 37160.
Will you raise your right hand and state your name, please?
Brandy Jo Blanco Gonzalez.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give before this board will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, first, I'm going to ask you a series of questions initially, and then after we go through these, we'll open it up and we'll have additional questions. Let's start run through these first. Have you received and reviewed a copy of the beer rules?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the rules of which you have read?
Yes, sir.
Do you have questions of any of the rules listed?
No, sir.
Have you received a copy of the ordinance?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions regarding the ordinance?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever held a beer permit before in Shelbyville or any other jurisdiction?
No, sir.
Please describe your experience, if any, with beer sales.
Unfortunately, I don't have any.
Okay, never a
I was a
waitress
waitress. I was
or
gonna say
like
at one
nothing.
time. I do hold an ABC license,
but
but
never actually sold.
I've never sold it personally.
Do you understand that underage sale of alcohol to minors is a violation of the law?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Briefly describe your business establishment.
We are a seafood restaurant. We're seasonal. We have a backyard seating area. It's fenced in. We're very family orientated, and we do not want to become a bar. We just want to offer an alcohol, beverage with the seafood. Really just to bring up our sales where we can stay in business because we are seasonal, and that's really it.
So essentially restaurant,
Yes, sir.
and that's, okay.
I had a moment there when you said seafood, because I originally read the name as Flamingo Pizza instead of Flamingo Plaza, and I was like,
No pizza.
pizza.
We do have other brands of food, but no pizza.
Do you have any questions for the beer board?
No, sir.
Does the cash register software system require the birth date for all beer sales?
I do believe so. We use cake, and we've looked into it, and I believe that there is a setting on there that we could require.
Are you the property owner for the location in which beer sales will take place? Do you, as the applicant or agent realize that you are responsible as the beer permit holder for all employees' beer sales?
I do.
So ultimately, we're coming.
Absolutely, yes.
Questions?
What's your seating capacity?
I believe we're approved for 60, 75. We only have 20 tables at the moment. We will eventually get some more. And then we have some picnic tables outside as well.
How many employees will you have?
Right now, we'll just have 4 starting out. Eventually, we may hire some more. We're very small.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'm just getting clarification. Your business tax license says Flamingo Fiesta, and that is how it is listed on our agenda. However, the application says the name of which you will operate with the beer permit is Flamingo Plaza. So could you address the difference? You'll see. Here's your, be careful, please don't. Our IT guy doesn't want anybody up here crossing over those wires. Flamingo Fiesta is what is listed on your business tax minimal activity. And I noticed that the agenda just said Flamingo Fiesta. I just want to make certain, because when we issue the name, the name is very important. What we issue the permit, that's the name you're supposed to operate under. And if anything changes on the name, you're supposed to come back and get it changed here.
Can I check? I believe it should be the Flamingo Fiesta,
Okay.
honestly.
Okay. If you want to operate under that name, we need to amend our application tonight.
Application.
What the actual application?
The actual application says Plaza.
Plaza, yeah.
I picked up the Fiesta off of her business license.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. Okay. So then what Lacey's gonna come around and do is have you sign off approving, what we'll do is approve an amendment to your application. Instead of Plaza, it'll be Fiesta.
Okay.
And your permit will say that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just mark out Plaza and put Fiesta. And then if you don't want to just initial, your initials out the side. All right, thank you.
Other questions?
What kind of food do you serve?
We sell crab, seafood boils, smash burgers.
Is this the same place it's called, it's Holy Crab? Different business that went out and you,
It's a long story. This is a separate business.
It's a different location.
Yes, ma'am. They have a location over across from Lowe's.
She's a,
also those people moved from there? Or just told the name? But I know at one point there's two places that had the same name.
Everything originated at my property, at my business, and
It's a long story, let's not get it.
and we're on Facebook Live or YouTube Live.
Holy Crabs
That is a different.
it's out.
Okay.
We were
What is that?
originally Holy Crab Backyard.
Oh, you were that too?
We were the
Originally.
very first original Holy Crab Backyard, yes.
Okay, but you're not using that anymore.
We're now Fiesta, or
We
Flamingo
got it.
Fiesta.
That's what
Not
you-
to be confused with.
So it's that location,
Pizza.
that's what you are, okay,
Yes.
thank you.
All right. What hours will you be operating?
As far as,
What hours will you be
oh,
operating?
what hours? I'm so sorry. Right now, it's only 4 to 10, and that's only 3 days a week. So it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Oh.
We're too old to stay open too late.
Understand.
And hopefully, eventually, our hours would pick up. as everybody gets on.
You said you're outside,
Yes, sir, and it has a privacy fence around the entire area.
completely enclosed, 100%
Absolutely.
enclosed.
Yes, sir.
You understand that you're allowed to have
Absolutely.
out on premises in that confined space, but not outside.
Yes, ma'am. And we actually have it where it'll have signage and stuff that says, that alcohol couldn't be beyond in that area. And we have our staff that'll be, checking to make sure that that's correct.
Anything else? Questions? Anybody? Good. Motion approved.
I move.
Approved. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
tomorrow you can come back up to City Hall to pick up your permit. This is March, so you'll need to bring $83.30, and what that is an annual privilege tax that you'll pay every year in January from here on out, but that's a prorated amount. So $83.30, and you can come up there anytime after 10, and I'll have your permit ready.
All right, thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
You guys can visit us.
Okay, other business, any reports from staff?
The only thing that I have is to let y'all know that I have spoken to Ms. Hagway, the
Latin drinks.
Latin drinks, thank you, I was trying to think of that. I have spoken to her and they will be on the agenda for April. They have, provided me with some information and they have, spoken with the building and codes director and I think they've corrected everything as far as he's concerned, so they're ready to, they've asked to be brought back in front of you. That's all I have, just to let y'all know that.
Anything else?
They just really got that business.
They go through a lot.
Yeah.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn. Move. Second. All in favor?
I agree.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all hold on. We got something first.
Please.
Take off.
Feel free.
Thank you, y'all are so sweet.
Show cause it's not every.
That's not, I'm like,
It's April, no, not next, it's April 9th, yes, I'm sorry, I misspoke when I said next week.
It's in the.
In your April meeting.
Ginger, you hadn't made any changes to this since you sent it to me, this, show cause order?
No, that's what I sent Sunday, it's good to go.
Okay.
There've not been any changes and I've got, there's it, it's right up here.
April meeting.
April 9th.
Get my sister.
You're like me, I was trying to figure out where it was, and I couldn't make myself figure it out.
Yeah.
I
you
kept
bring,
saying, well, what was there
anybody
before?
here,
And she
As
was
long as they don't, as long as they don't
Somebody
heckle
said
us
something
in the
about
gallery.
a mid-weedy place, and I'm like, oh, okay.
No,
That
it's
makes
North.
sense.
But now,
Not really.
I would say it has the potential to be a.
A long
longer
meeting.
than Usual. So,
I'll leave the action.
yeah. Between, show calls and the people are coming back.
With the show calls, and then I think you'll also want, the Latin drinks are coming back, but I can't, were we putting back on the looking at the ordinance?
I knew you didn't want to do it with Mr. Martina not here.
So,
Is that what we said, or we all said in a separate one? I can't even remember.
I don't,
I thought we talked about having full separate.
Separate.
yeah, I don't know if I'll
Did
do
the
that.
ordinance.
We might be here 3 hours.
And it would, I'm afraid that's gonna be long. And so we had originally, actually, we set it for January. We ran into an issue, Lisa, I can't remember why. But we couldn't, it conflicted. We had to have that date for another city council meeting. And so we canceled the workshop on the ordinance.
So the next meeting is April 9th. And we currently will have, Latin drinks and the show cause, and I believe I have an application out.
So I would suggest the application should come first.
Absolutely.
Well, technically, the old application is old business, and we would take Latin drinks, then we would take the new application. Show cause order should be held to the bottom
Yeah.
of your agenda. That's gonna be a long meeting,
It is.
in and of itself.
Yeah, I would do.
I would suggest,
We'll push the ordinance stuff on.
that's what I was gonna say, I would suggest that we have our meeting on the 9th. We know Joey's gonna be here at that time, and everybody else will be here. And then at that meeting, we can set a special call meeting. We'll pick a date that works for everybody. For a special call meeting just for the ordinance.
Yeah.
So that
Good
sounds
solution.
That sounds.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All in favor?
Unofficial,
Yeah,
unofficial
yeah.
vote.
Well, thank y'all, I appreciate it.
Cool. I don't think that's on the book yet.
We'll need to kind of look at
It's
our
all good.
You walk.
reports and see who.
Roy.
Need y'all to not
All good.
jerk me off.
Well, whole shift be working,
Okay,
so. we-
Same shift. It's you and,
It's all
um,